Straya. How are you going? Hey, are you good? You should be. Why is that, Jim? TGIF. Am I right? I'll tell you what, I would hate to be a tin in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Deleted. That's right, because basketball, give me the ball, cause I wanna dunk it. Yeah! This is NBA Straya. It is Friday, March 27, all day. I'm your host, James Clements, here in Larry Armour Studios. And today, we've only got the 3 games, so we're going to wrap those up, do all the daily awards, etc. But I really wanted to go, oi, who's going to win this bloody NBA title, Jim? And answer that question. So with our NBA power rankings today, I basically went contenders or nah, with some tiers built in between and a couple of other little bits and bobs. So that'll be kind of fun, I reckon. We'll do that in the unpopular opinion today. We've got some yeah-nahs. We've got the Outback Takehouse. We've got a Shane Hill shoot your shot, light 'em up award. And we'll pick and preview all of the games for tomorrow. A lot going on, so it's pretty fun. We're getting right down to the pointy end of the season, obviously, so there's lots of moving parts. So let's get into it. Episode 1371 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
Oh, you better. Well, you better watch out for the John Fanta attack. Interesting decision as your commentator. And also, you better watch out for the attack of whatever that camera angle was on NBA TV today. I'm like, am I watching this somehow on my big telly on mobile view? What the hell is going on? Nope. It was just like, I'm like feeling like I'm on a roller coaster. To be honest, I was like, I'm not going to complain too much about it, but I just feel a bit weird. It was very odd. But it was weird watching a Charlotte game against the Knicks and you don't have Eric Collins, LaMelo, screaming off his bloody head. Instead, you got John Fanta doing it, and that was kind of fun. He's got a funny voice, isn't he? I love talking on Footy Unfiltered about commentators. Yeah. Oh, you see over here, Gary, just look at what he's done there. How shocking AFL commentary is. And like there's, at least when they bring in Matt Hill and here I am, I'm a race commentator and we're talking about footy and footy is over here and the footy goes over there. And like this sort of stuff, it just, obviously it annoys the absolute hell out of your mate Jim. NBA ones, obviously Reggie Miller just shits me up the wall. I've got my own other little, pet hates here and there. But I'll tell you what, it's a damn sight better than footy. So John Fanta, his voice is funny. He's got a very excitable voice. And so when you go from Eric Collins to Johnny Fanta, I don't mind it. Anyway, let's start today's show with the daily whip around. So we did this very quickly on yesterday's show, right? Yesterday's show is one of the little short shows. We don't really dig into too much. But obviously Adam Silver came out and had a chat with everybody. He's like, welcome everybody. It's good to see all of you here. And then he talked about expansion and all this sort of stuff and about how, so the Board of Governors meeting happened. And yes, we got a unanimous vote that expansion can be explored. So we got there. We got to that first step. We've taken it. And I've got 2 things about expansion and the naysayers. A, piss off. B, seriously, get fucked. Jeez, Jim, it's a bit harsh. No, look, seriously, the actual things. A, going, we need to fix tanking before we expand. They are. That's the entire plan. I criticise the NBA more than just about bloody anybody, but at least Adam Silver came out and in that same press conference like, look, we're going to get tanking sorted. The entire thing is going to change before this draft and everybody's on board with that. And it's like, oh, okay, good. So piss that first reason off. about they need to fix tanking. How can you add 2 more teams when we don't have a third of the teams already trying? Because they're incentivized to not try. If you're not going to incentivize them to not try, hopefully everyone's trying, right? And we're all good. So, the second thing is, oh, look at all these bad teams. We don't have enough talent. Yes, we do. We have you do. There are so many different little tools out there. You can go do the expansion draft. The cool thing is, back in the olden days, when we did expansion drafts for the Toronto Raptors and the Vancouver Grizzlies, just look at those initial rosters, would you? It was an absolute hellscape. The expansion drafts and stuff back then. So, the Raptors, let's just quickly go through this. The Raptors took BJ Armstrong. Sure. In 1995, he's like, I've won titles. They're like, you're our point guard. Tony Massenberg, yoish. Andres Goubert, Keith Jennings, D'Antonio Wingfield, Doug Smith, Jerome Kersey, the legend. Xanta Back, remember him? The big, goofy-looking MFer. Willie Anderson, Willie! Ed Pickney, I love Ed Pickney. AC Earl, BJ Tyler. I need Tyler. John Sally, our beloved John Sally, star of the movie Eddie. And Oliver Miller, the big fella. Now, Vancouver, they took Greg Anthony, who was later arrested on sexual deviancy charges in New York. Allegedly. Go Google that. Rodney Dent, Antonio Harvey, Reggie Slater, Trevor Ruffin, Derek Phelps, Larry Stewart, Kenny Gattinson, Byron Scott, interesting, Jared Wilkins, the bad one, Benoit Benjamin, Benoit, Doug Edwards, and Blue Edwards. They got a pair of Edwards at the end. Suffice to say, I think we have a little bit more talent in the NBA now, where you can pull together an expansion draft that basically has like more talent than the current actual Brooklyn Nets, right? You just go, bang, off we go. Like, that'd be kind of funny. And like, you do these mock drafts of these expansion drafts, and you're like, this is kind of neat. You can sort of do it pretty quickly. And how they work. Like, you can get Dort, Zion, Benny Mathurin, D'Lo, one of the Champagnes, Diawara, Day'Ron Sharp, Ty Jerome, Jrue Holiday, like Jordan Walsh, Furphy. Like, look, TJ Salon. Basically, there's a lot of talent that is sort of going underutilized in the NBA because we've got the 30 teams, and like you can have someone like TJ Salon who's just TJ Salon just hanging out. The Hornets don't even need him. Right? Johnny Furphy. These sorts of dudes. I think we have enough and we'll fill in the gaps. We're adding an extra 30 gigs in the NBA. They will uncover some more gems. And yeah, we might have like a, wobblier, softer middle in the NBA for a bit. But I think there is plenty of talent. Every team has like 2 dudes, if not 2.5 dudes most of the time. There you go. Star. Decent player. Awesome player. That sort of stuff. I think we can basically pull this together. You just need to zoom out just that little bit and go, right, if we have these 2 extra teams, will it hurt the product? To a degree, I think it will. Will that be balanced out by having 2 extra teams in 2 big markets that'll make it way more fun, and we'll have the Sonics back? Yes, that'll outweigh it. Don't worry. Adam Silver also was, as I mentioned, talked about tanking. Was like, we're going to fix it before the draft. And you're like, that's pretty interesting. I wonder what they're going to do. So we'll find out. One of my favorite days, my 3 favorite days on the calendar. What are they, Jim? Well, you got to remember opening day of the season, because it means we have a full season of NBA ahead of us. Love that. The NBA draft. Love the draft. And then the NBA draft lottery. The lottery is awesome. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. And when they announce all this news, it's going to be really fun. He also addressed the 65 games thing where he's like, just because it's affecting one player, I think it's working. And this is what I said on yesterday's show. It's weird that I'm in agreement with Adam Silver, because all the hand-wringing, all the bitching, all the moaning, all the whinging, 65 games is too much. What happens if they miss it all NBA? Shut up. Just shut up. Just stop your sooking. Oh, Kay Cunningham might not get all NBA. Yeah, because he's only played 61 games. I don't know what to tell you. He got hurt. It sucks. We get this every year with some players. So just bloody hell. whether it be MVP races, whether it be like all-star chances. Oh, he hasn't played enough games, this sort of stuff. Just everybody chill. And the last little bits and bob was that the salary cap, it's going to be $1 million lower than expected. I think the cap's still going to go up $10 million, but because of the regional television networks, so all the crummy little ones, half of them are just going under. They're all cooked, mate. Because basically, if you're running a regional television network, basically you think about our TV stations in Australia, and the way that it works over in the States is that they will show your local team on your local sort of cable provider or TV show, whatever. There will be a cable channel that has those rights to that sort of stuff, and it'll be over there. And so people will usually pay to get that channel, etc. It's essentially kind of, I don't know, KO-ish, but not really. KO's, yeah, I don't know. It's all a bit of a mess. You think about how like Channel 9 will have like the rugby league and Channel 7 will have the footy, but then Foxtel's got some of the footy. That's kind of more how it works. So it's a bit of a strange one, but the regional sports networks are a bit of a mess. They've all been bought, sold, changed hands a million times, going under as chaos. Anyway, the last little one, I sort of hit on how crazy that overtime meltdown from the Houston Rockets was yesterday. Turns out it was historically a big meltdown. It was teams, I think, were 0-180 when 10 or more points in overtime in the last 29 years. 0 for 180. The Wolves came back, win that game. It's now 1-180. That's just... I think we might have to pack the Rockets up, boys. They're done for the year. And finally, the Bulls also announced that Ivy and Jalen Smith. So Jaden and Jalen have been sat down for the rest of the season. Oh, isn't that sad? Some quick game wraps. Game wraps. Today, the Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets played a very fun, entertaining game. Knicks came flying back out of nowhere at the end. It was like a 16-4 run. You're like, whoop, look out, drop, gee. Nah, and then the Hornets were fine. They started turning over the ball a heap. And up until that moment, you're like, God damn, wait. Are the Hornets just like wildly terrifying? And then they have those little blips. It's like one of those just like from a TV show where it all just goes a bit purple for a second. And then they wake up 5 minutes later, they've turned the ball over like 6 times and they've given up like a 10-2 run. You're like, what the hell just happened? It's like a Rick and Morty spot. But it was a really fun game. Like the rotations that the Knicks were trying, like Cat was getting abused by Moose Diabate. He is awesome, by the way. They love him there. That's all. Moose. I was saying Moose. Miles Bridges had a sick dunk. There was a bunch of, like, Brandon Spindles Miller had a sick dunk. This was a really, really fun game. They shot the piss out of it early. They went 16-41 from downtown eventually, the Hornets. Big win over the Knicks, who, don't look now, could be their first round opponent. Oh, Lord. I mean, oh, Lord. That's very exciting, isn't it? I just do.
This is ridiculous. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. New Orleans put up a bit of a fight early against the Detroit basketballing Pistons and then got curb stomped. Like, they just ran away with it in the fourth quarter. I picked the Pelicans to keep this one close. They end up losing 129-108 because they got outscored 37-22 in the fourth quarter. They were leading after the first quarter. Pistons solidified the second quarter, were pretty good. Bit of a standstill again in the third, and then waxed them in that fourth. A lot of it was Jalen Duren just causing all sorts of havoc. But Sasser, Javonte Green, Basketball Paul, their bench sort of just did enough, and it allowed Dennis Jenkins, Kevin Huerta to get them over the line. But Jalen Duren, absolute monster. He's awesome. Love him. Going to talk about him again in a second. The Pelicans, Trey Murphy was ruled out before this game. And so I feel like I can't really miss this pick. I would have changed it to the Pistons had I have known that Trey Murphy was out, but that like broke just as I'm like, I've missed that. Anyway, so tough. So yeah, starting DeAndre Jordan in the year 2026. Brutal. And then finally, Sacramento, Orlando, the Magic Men, 121-117. What are they doing? I hate them. I love the Magic, but I hate them. They snapped their 6-game losing streak, but what was that?
What was that? What the hell was that?
Sacramento were in this for worryingly large chunks of the game. DeMar DeRozan was absolutely off his head. Malik Monk, hitting some shots here and there. Daquan Plowden was awesome. He's going to pop up again in a second, but Orlando, they're not scaring anybody. All right, NBA Australia Pro Performer of the Night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Honorable mention to DeMar DeRozan with his 33 against this Orlando Magic team. Not bad. He had 11 assists and 6 rebounds as well. Like old man DeMar crushing it. You had 30 for Paolo Banchero with 9 rebounds, 7 assists. But my favorite performance of the day, like we could do the Atlanta Hawks 2014-15 All-Star selections and go, everybody on Charlotte did good. You all get a participation All-Star spot, right? We could do that. I don't want to because I'm not a coward. Like 26 for Connie Nips, amazing. Hit 6 threes. You got LaMelo, 22, 5 and 6. 21 for Spindles Miller. 17 for that prick Miles Bridges. Kobe White absolutely blew the doors off this game coming off the bench. 17 points. Missed a couple of shots late, but God, he was good. But today's outstanding performer was Jalen Duren going, boys, get on my giant shoulders. We are not losing to the Pelicans. And to watch like Zion and DeAndre Jordan and Derek Queen try to combat Jalen Duren was hilarious. If Zion Williamson had like a fifth of the muscle mass of Jalen Duren, Zion Williamson would be a problem. But Jalen Duren was absolutely awesome. He had 30 points in 31 minutes. He absolutely crushed it. 10 of 12 from the floor. 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That's a man's game. Way to go, Jalen Duren. Because these were the games, and I guess, you know, in terms of like the playoff seeding changes and stuff today, that loss knocked the Knicks down a game behind the Celtics again. But crucially, that win for the Pistons with, I think, 9 games to go kept them 4.5 games up on the Celtics, who I think have got 10 games to go. So that was huge because the Pelicans one was one of those games on the Detroit schedule where you're like, that's a bit of a, or keep your eye on that one. But to be 4.5 up, 9 games left, even without Cade, like that's just a big win. And it was so much due to Durant and what was it, Red Velvet, the Ginger Ninja, Kevin Huerta. Because now they play Minnesota, OKC, Toronto, Minnesota, Philly, Orlando, Milwaukee, Charlotte, Indy. So there's a couple of gimmies in there. They should be okay, especially that like Milwaukee game, that Indy game. Who knows about Philly, but there's a tough bunch of games to come for Detroit. To bank that one against the Pelicans was huge. A lot of it to do with Jalen Duren. How about Spud of the Night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the Night.
Spud of the Night. Jalen Brunson from downtown, 0 of 6. Brutal. He shot 10 of 23 overall, not too bad. But otherwise, I don't really want to say it because he might come and fight me. But it's Ron Holland, 1 of 6 from the floor today. Fighting Ron Holland, fighting around the world. He'll punch your head in as soon as look at you. DeJounte Murray still coming back slowly from that Achilles. 5 of 15 shooting for him. 5 of 13 for Derek Queen. We don't really dump on rookies. But I would very much like to thank the one true hero today. Out of absolutely nowhere, Marcus Sasser went and shot. Oh, yeah. Chill. 311. What a legend. Absolutely blew the doors off him. I'm like, oh, he's got it. 311. You beauty. Who's old mate? No mates, though.
Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? How about Ime Udoka getting... Ime Udoka being thrown under the bus by Julius Randle. How were you guys able to pull this off? Julius Randle responded, Ime Udoka. It's like, ooh-wee. So, as I mentioned earlier, that pretty rough end to that game where they got, 15 straight points scored on them in overtime to lose. Yeah. Ime Udoka's, there is a very large light being shone on his coaching performance. And it sort of harkens back to that Boston year where you're like, God, man, this offense stinks. And now you're like, wow, God, this Houston offense stinks. Maybe Fred VanVleet comes back and fixes it. I don't know, but yeesh. Ime Udoka, old mate, no mates. But I think the biggest one that stands out to me, and this is a bit of a Outback Takehouse as well, so I might just save it for that. But old mate, no mates. Obviously, the KD thing is just hanging over this head of the head of this Houston team, right? And it's very hard to escape that. This team hates each other. LP Şengün's face was like his mouth was hanging off his face the other day. And none of his team, like in a game-saving situation, has that awesome block on Randall. And no one gets around him. You're like, oh, yeah, vibes are fucked, mate. It's brutal. Other old mate, no mates. Moose Diabate, when he was asked about being in a car driven by LaMelo Ball, he's like, hell, fuck no. I'm glad that even his teammates understand that LaMelo is such a fucking shithead of a driver that they're like, fucking no way am I getting in a moving vehicle driven by that shitbird. Fuck that. Someone's going to take away his license. The other one is the legend, Isaiah Thomas. Not the little fella, the other little fella, but the better one. Two-time NBA champion, Isaiah Thomas. He is still so fucking salty about Michael Jordan, it's funny. At some point, you just got to fucking let it go, don't you, Isaiah? He was asked like, oh, hey, if you took Michael Jordan off those Bulls team and replaced him with Kevin Durant, would they have still won 6 titles? He's like, absolutely. It's like, okay, man. Just fucking chill. I don't know why he's so weirdly hell-bent on like tarnishing his legacy. His legacy's already fucked. I mean, there's the Knicks stint, the Raptors stint, all the other shit that he's done, all the dumb shit that he's said. The fact that he's like a weirdly thin-skinned loser, I don't know. It's like you could have been fine, but it's in his head. Bit of an old mate, no mates, 100%. Isaiah Thomas. Just fucking chill, bro. Anyway, pantsing of the night. Just the entire Charlotte Knicks game was like Miller on Jalen Brunson. You had Miles Bridges through everybody, cocks it back and yams on Hart. Thing is, Miles Bridges, still a big piece of shit, so fuck him. Moose, that was a self-pantsing. He got blocked by the rim. He got by Cat. Did you see this move? This was sick. He gives him the old 1-2 skidoo, walks around him because Karl Anthony Towns' defense is fucking horrible, and then goes up and gets blocked by the rim. So, that's a pantsing. But yeah, there was some pretty fun, wild shit going on in that game, I'll tell you. And finally, better than Lonzo Ball, Bronny James and Ben Simmons.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody. Coming for everybody. How about a couple of dudes in that Orlando-Sacramento game? Tristan Aravinda de Silva, 18 points, 5 of 7 shooting, plays a really big role for that Magic team now. Basically, he's like hey, remember how we used to have Johnny Isaac? And it was like, we've got Johnny Isaac at home. It's like, it's Tristan Aravinda de Silva. He's awesome. Went 3 or 4 on threes, couple of assists, 1 rebound. I just like the way he moves. I like his vibe for the game. But then the other one on the other side for Sacramento, our beloved, back-to-back, Jack. Daquan Plowden, 23 points for the young Sacramento King. 6 of 10 from downtown, 3 rebounds, absolutely crushed it. You love to bloody see it. All right, I actually remembered it's Friday, so we've got more other things. So next up, everyone's favorite, the Magic Tweet of the Week. Wow. With the Lakers down 2 points and 2 seconds left in the game, Luke Kennard hit the three-pointer to seal the win over the Orlando Magic 105-104. This extends their winning streak to 9. What did I literally say underneath that? Thanks, Magic. He's got a lot of other stuff going on because obviously his Michigan State team is in the in the Sweet 16. So here we go. I just finished watching my Michigan State Spartans defeat Louisville 77-69. I believe Jeremy Fears Jr. is the best PG in America, and today he scored 12 points and 16 assists to record the most assists in Michigan State's history in the NCAA tournament. Cohen Carr had his first career double-double, scoring 21 points and 10 assists.
MSU's bench came up big with 21 total points led by Trey Fort, who had 12. The Spartans advance to the Sweet 16. What do we say? Thanks, Magic. Oh, I love it. It's just, that's great. Chat GPT ass. Anyway, Dickhead of the Week.
Dickhead of the Week.
The Draymond Green Memorial Dickhead of the Week goes once again to Draymond Green. I think there were some Hawks fans giving him a bit of a lip when they were playing the other day. And he's like doing this thing where he's like looking up at the rafters. He's like, St. Louis Hawks, what the fuck is that thing? That's an ABA championship. I'll give you one of mine. Shut the fuck up, Draymond. That's an NBA title, you fuckwit. So go blow it out your fucking ass. It's such a dickheaded thing to say and do. But then the other one is, I mean, you're the guy who's like, oh, I'll give you one of my championships. They have a championship. They were the St. Louis Hawks. They're an NBA team. What are you doing, you fucking moron? God, Draymond. The other one is, I forgot to mention this earlier, Josh Hart going, hey, man, yeah, look, if the NBA expands, we need to get a cut of that. We need some dollars. I'm like, fucking I do too. I've been spruiking Seattle for fucking years at this point, so better grease your mate Jim's palms here. But he's like, nah, we should get some of that. It's like, dude, you get 30 more jobs in the NBA for players. Also, you guys negotiated the CBA where this express clause is written out that expansion and the expansion fees, if a team were to relocate, the players don't get any of that. So go take it up with your fucking Players Association first, you idiot. Josh Hart. The players consistently showing their ass about how little they know about their own situation is pretty funny at times, but anyway. Let's do some yeah-nahs and the power rankings right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
and you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
Let's do some yeah-nahs brought to you by you. That's right. You can help support the show by buying us a coffee or buying us a tin. You know, it's roughly the same. Roughly. Jesus. Buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. So if you do join up, this is our Patreon, right? So if you sign up, you do get exclusive content. I'll just put shit up early. I'll just say g'day, all this sort of stuff. But every month we do an exclusive show that's just for the Dead Set Legends Club. So for the legends in the Dead Set Legends Club, they get this exclusive show. We are working on, we did the top 10 players at every position all time the other day. And this time we're going to do the top 5 or 10 most fun players of all time in every position based on a couple of metrics that I've worked out. So you better go subscribe, check it out, help us out, bang on the Patreon, become a supporter. Just over, it's buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia, and you get to join the Dead Set Legends Club, and you help keep the lights on. Keep the pirate ship afloat. So anyway, the legend Dave Brown has got a yeah-nah. Do you reckon Charles Lee's going to confiscate LaMelo's earpods as we enter the postseason? Yeah-nah! Now this is good. I'm going to say nah and explain. So the AirPods thing for LaMelo is that he plays basketball like he's got his AirPods in. Like he's not paying any attention. He's just like out there grooving. He's listening to some music. He's just hanging out. I'm okay with Charles Lee just going, look, do your thing, LaMelo. Like, it's been awesome. You see some open dudes. Maybe they can hit a shot that you can't see. Have at it. You've done a pretty good job of that so far. So I'm actually okay with him keeping the AirPods in. But that is a great question from Davey B. The AirPods thing is hilarious because once you think it and then you watch him and you're like, oh, this is never leaving my brain. LaMelo wears AirPods while he plays. Basically, that's what it looks like. One other big one. So we've talked about the standings to a degree. The standings at the moment where we've got a Warriors team and Steph we're going to get an update on Steph's health and whether he's going to come back tomorrow, I think. They're 35 and 38. And the sort of thing that every time I see the Warriors name, and when I was doing the power rankings, I'm like, where the fuck do I put the... They've been shit. Ugh. 35 and 38. Is this it? Like, is that just pack her up, boys, we're done? Yeah, nah. I think so, yeah. Right? It sucks unless they pull off a Giannis trade. That's the only caveat. Because if they pull off the Giannis trade and they move on from whether it be fucking Draymond, whoever else, but Moses Moody does his knee. You've lost Jimmy Butler. Even if Jimmy Butler comes back next year, Steph Curry's got this runner's knee shit. That is also the sort of thing that it can be sort of managed, but this is what happens. You just get old, and Steph is old. Jimmy Butler's old as fuck, coming off a knee fucking... Like, what are we doing? So unless they get Giannis, the Warriors, I think this is it. This is... You sold out. You won the 22 title. It was amazing. This is the ride off into the sunset. It sort of sucks, but here we are. The last one, and this sort of leads into the power rankings, is... Jim, is there anyone outside the top 4 in either conference that can win the NBA title? Yeah, nah, there isn't. So last year, you might remember the Indiana Pacers were the 4 seed that made the NBA Finals. OKC were obviously the 1 seed, going 68 and 14, very good. But the Pacers knocking off... the Bucks, the Knicks. No, the Bucks, who they beat in the second round was the Cavs? Yeah, the Cavs. Off they go. And then boom and boom and boom. Beat the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's chaos. They were still the 4 seed, however, right? So you're sort of like, oh, yeah, this is a bit how you going. And then you look at the standings right now. And you're like, oh, God, yeah, I don't think anyone can do like a Houston Rockets 5 seed run here. Because the Wolves and the Rockets, which we'll get to in a second, like that game yesterday, as I said on yesterday's show, 2 one-legged men in an ass-kicking competition. It was just, no, you fuck this game up. No, you fuck this game up. It was just gross. But anyway, that all said, let's do some power rankings.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
All right, power rankings right now. So the tiers are also sort of there where, as I said, right, you can do contenders or nah. And so until I get to the last 8, they're all nah. That's where we're at. It's kind of weird. It's kind of sad, but I think that's the state of play right now, because with Ant-Man injured for the Wolves and the Rockets are fucking bin fire, that's where we're at. But anyway, at the bottom, the get in the bin tier, that would be your Brooklyn Nets. They've just been fucking abysmal. So bad. Brooklyn, 30. Then we've got Utah. I mean, Ace Bailey has been balling out. Indy, Washington. Whatever order you want, they can all get in the bin. I mean, of all of those teams as well, right? I think with all of those 4 teams at the bottom, they have won in their last 40 games combined, a total of 5 games across the 4 of them. Jesus, that's horrible, right? So they can all get in the bin. Very close to them as well are the just stop tier. The Grizzlies are just, brutal. Just stop. They've gone 1-9 in their last 10 as well. Horrible. The Bucks, they've just 2-8 in their last 10. Giannis down. They've just been execrable. Like, it just sucks watching them. They're just depressing. Just stop. Kyle Kuzma, that trade forever will just go down as like what the fuck was that? What the hell was that trade, right? I mean, jeez.
What was that? What the hell was that?
They just stopped after that. Then you've sort of got Sacramento, who are still at least fighting, but they have gone 5-5 in their last 10. 19 and 55. It's pretty funny, but look, they've shown a little bit of fight, but just stop. What are you doing? Then after that, we've got the Dallas Mavericks. Just stop. That's a team where it's like, all of the fun shit that all the good Cooper flag stats we're getting, it's awesome. But we're 73 games into the season. There are 9 games remaining. At some point, you're going to go, hey, Coop, just take it fucking easy, bro. Just everybody chill, right? So in terms of Cooper flag, I mean, they've still got the idea rolling around that Cooper flag for his Rookie of the Year candidacy. I mean, is he actually going to – he's got 61 games under his belt. I mean, I think Connie's got him. Old Connie Nips might have him. So anyway, they should all just stop. Then we've got the playing out the string tier, which is the Chicago Bulls and your New Orleans Pelicans, who are at least trying in a lot of these games, but they just suck ass, right? Like, that's their big problem. So it's just a bit of a tough one. You get that on the big jobs. And the thing is, playing out the string, I did have Golden State in this tier because they are just playing out the string, but they've won their last 2 games against shit teams, only just as well. But anyway, but the Bulls, the Pelicans, you sit down, you watch those games, you're like, this is not very good. But, I mean, there's some little flashes. I get to watch Josh Giddey. The Pelicans have got some dudes and they don't have a reason to tank, so they're playing out the string. Then we've got the thanks for coming tier. So this is all basically play-in or playoff teams from here on out. At 20, the Golden State Warriors. No Steph, no Butler. Draymond's like heckling Hawks fans. Like, what are we doing? They stink. 35 and 38. Thanks for coming. But, yeah, you're not going to make any noise. Portland. I love them. 37 and 37. Donovan Clingan dominating. Scoot playing. Drew Holiday out there. It's like, this is good. But without Shaedon Sharpe, without it all sort of pointing in the right direction, without it all just like really coalescing awesomely in a cacophony of awesome Blazer shit, it's still thanks for coming. The Sixers are, look, the Embiid Paul George just battering the other day of the Bulls was pretty funny. But they are also still thanks for coming because, I mean, if they had had Jared McCain, remember him? He was on the Sixers. You got to be a brain genius to trade him away at his high point, don't you, idiot? Good job, Daryl Morey, once again. The Sixers, if they'd been able to tread water a little bit better with McCain there, instead of like when Maxey went out, they're just like, oh God, we've got no one. Like VJ's like, I'm okay. He's playing awesome, but he needs some help. They're still thanks for coming. The Miami Heat, awesome game the other day where they went, wait a minute, we're not going to relegate Norm Powell to the bench. That was dumb. They fix it. They run over the top of the Detroit Pistons. Awesome game for them. But watching the Heat over the last 2 months, you're just like, ooh. Especially the last couple of weeks as they're reintegrating Tyler Hero properly. They're still a thanks for coming team because whoever, if they get through the play-in, they're probably going to get absolutely stomped by Boston, probably if it's in the 7. Detroit, it's going to be a little bit more interesting, but they're still a bit thanks for coming. Could they? Maybe could they knock off? Anyway, that's a question for later down the track. I'm just saying. But thanks for coming at the moment. This might change as we hit the playoffs, and as the Heat give us a little bit more this week, they could jump back up into the, look out. Anyway, but the there but no chance tier, this is the Suns. I love them. They fight. Jalen Green, Devin Booker, but 40 and 33. Point differential of plus 1.2. They are in that next bottom tier underneath all the other good teams in the West for a reason. There, but no chance, right? If they get the 7 spot, they're going to get waxed by the Spurs. We all get it. Toronto are there, but no chance. They are just falling, just talk about pointing in the wrong direction teams. That is what Toronto are. 40 and 32, 5 and 5 in their last 10. Everybody else sort of around them, apart from Orlando and the Heat, are sort of doing good things. Even the Sixers are 6 and 4 in their last 10. But Toronto at least get the benefit of the, you've done enough that I trust you a little bit more than Philly, a little bit more than Miami. But I still think you've got no chance. The Clippers, oh boy, that's where they're next. That's a rough one, I'll tell ya. Because, what's that? They're 14th. It feels about right. because they have these moments where you're like, that's awesome. Kawhi's fantastic. Benny Matherin's back. Darius Rucker, Judy Garland's crushing it. They've won 3 on the trot. They're 37 and 36. They're not going to catch the Suns. They're in the 8 spot right now. If they beat the Suns in the first play-in game and end up with the 7 seed to take on the Spurs would still fucking wax them. They'd wax them. If they fall to the 8, okay, so you're going to kill them. So they're there, but they've got no chance. Sorry, Clippers. The Wolves. No Ant-Man, no chance. If he comes back, but for the moment they're there, but they've got no chance of winning the title. They did for a little bit. Rudy's been fantastic. Randall, solid. AO, like Randall's solid at times. Then just has these fucking games where you're like, what is this idiot doing? Jaden McDaniels has been the secret sauce all season. He's been unreal, but they have no chance if no Ant-Man. The super fun playoff team tier. This is the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets. These two teams are suddenly super fun playoff teams because if they're, like, especially with the Hawks, now up into the 5 spot, that a potential Cleveland-Atlanta series is a way more fun proposition than a Cleveland-Toronto series because who the fuck knows if Cleveland are going to deal with an Atlanta. Whereas, like, if they're in the 6, they take on the Knicks. Knicks Atlanta. There's a bit of history there. Even without Trey, it'd be fun. That's why they're so fucking fun. And the Hornets, they're in the 9 spot right now, 39 and 34, tied with the Magic and the Heat. If they fight their way to the 8 spot, look out, Detroit. I'm just saying, that's going to be a super fucking fun playoff team. I love it. If they beat the Heat in the 9-10 playoff spot, if they get in there, if they beat Orlando in the 8 spot right now, they're way more fun than all those other teams. I love them. Super fun playoff team. The might fire their coach tier. This is like a floating tier. This is not like ranked 11 and 12 overall. It's Orlando and Houston. Both the teams, you just watch them, you go, what the fuck was this? Yeesh. They suck. It's brutal. I don't know what the fuck happened with the Magic. They sort of went at each other's throats the other day. Lose fucking 5-6 games straight. You're like, Jesus. Desmond Bain's going to be like, what did I step into? This is... Ugh. And the Rockets. KD. We'll get to him in a second, but this is the might fire their coach tier, which could be... It should be, like, in terms of power rankings, below the there but no chance. Because, like, neither of these teams have got a chance of making some noise, but... I wanted to have this because it's funny because the next tier is might win the title. So this tier is might fire their coach, Houston Orlando, the 1995 NBA finalists. So the Rockets are an absolute just bin fire at the end of these games. They came flying back. Alpi Şengün, KD were awesome in that little run to get the overtime, to take the lead, and then they fucking blew it quite spectacularly. It's just crazy how badly they blew that. And you sort of sit there and go, oh, I feel like Ime Udoka, that might be the... Like, get Fred VanVleet back, get an actual point guard maybe, right? See what happens. But Jesus, and Orlando, like, defensively just to be that bad after being that good for the last few years makes no fucking sense. Oh, we don't have friends. Yeah, that's okay. Jesus. Paolo should be averaging 30 a fucking game. All right. The 8 teams that can actually win the title. This was 9 teams a little bit ago, but Houston and Minnesota have disappointed me so much. They're off. They're off the list. At number 8.
Cleveland!
Just. They're in the 4 spot. They're 45 and 28. They're 6 and 4 in their last 10. Not wildly convincing a lot of the time, but convincing enough. If they get Jared Allen back and playing, they got waxed by the Heat the other day, as I mentioned. Oh, wait, no, yeah, the Heat didn't beat Detroit. They beat Cleveland. Thing is, they beat them, right, the Heat. Now they play them again. Poor Cleveland. So Cleveland have to turn around and take on this Miami team tomorrow and actually beat them, or they're back off the list. Just so they're on their like last warning here. Just saying. So with Mobley and co, James Harden, Donnie Mitchell, they've got a puncher's chance against anybody. But wow, I just haven't been that wildly convinced. Losing that Miami game was the most Cleveland thing they could possibly do. Awesome win before that. They dropped the next one. Of course they did. So Cleveland are at 8. At 7, they've dropped all the way down. Still in the might win the title tier. But in 7, it's your Detroit basketball Pistons. But Jim, they're the 1 seed in the East. Yeah, and if they don't get Cade back in this first round properly and with enough time to sort of acclimatize to what's going on, They could get waxed in that first round. I'm a bit worried. It really worries me. Especially if it's Charlotte. Fucking Jesus, right? But they still might win the title because they might get Cade back. Boom. So this might be a temporary blip. They might be back up in the can win the title tier, which is the last tier. Next up, you got Denver. A couple of really, really good wins on the trot. All it took was Jokic going off his head and having 20-20-20 games and Jamal Murray having 50-point explosions. But they are still really, really good and they might win the title. Especially if you look at the way their matchups roll, right? If they get Houston in the 4-5 matchup, then OKC in the second round as the 4 seed, who fucking knows, right? They might just go, right, OKC, we've played these guys before. We've got our dudes. They've got their dudes. Puncher's chance. Might win the title. And then last one is still the Knicks. Even though they lost to Charlotte today, I kept them there at 5 because there is this sort of, I don't know, Jose Alvarado's fallen back out of the rotation. Who could have seen that coming except for everybody? There's like a reason he was always like a hit or miss backup in New Orleans and shit, right? But as the 5 seed, not the 5 seed, in the 5 spot right now, just in the might win the title spot, I think you get them into a playoff series. It's going to be just like last year. Shit's just going to be fucking crazy. They're going to ride some momentum, have some crazy games. Jalen Brunson can go to another level. If Kat, Mikal Bridges and stuff can just get it all point in the right direction, the playoffs I think will hone them and focus them a little bit more. I still think they could win the title. They're in the might win the title thing at the moment, though, because they lost to Charlotte today. The top 4 teams who can win the title, your LA Lakers. That's right, the Lakers.
The Lakers stink!
At, I don't know, defense, to a degree. But they don't stink as much anymore, which means they can win the title. I didn't want to admit it, but they can win the title. The Lakers. 47-26. It feels like you get them into a series against OKC or more likely Spurs, right? Because they're 2-3. But if you want to win from the 3 seed, you're going to have to play both of them at some point, probably. Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves is probably not enough. But if OKC have these weird sort of games where they just don't hit all their threes, Luka can fucking be the best player in a series for an entire series. We've seen it before. We've seen him make the finals doing that before. Against the Spurs, a little bit tougher because it's suddenly Wemby versus DeAndre Ayton. Whoa. But can win the title. Puncher's chance. They've been playing awesome lately. Love how it's working. Love how it's looking. I'm just still a little bit skeptical, but still. Boston can win the title. They can definitely win the East. Tatum's back, playing very well. Brown is awesome. Off we go. They can win the title. They get all the smoke blown up their ass by everybody, but they are very good. Joey Muzz, oh, bro, Jim, the way we're going to win this fucking NBA title, bro, we're going to watch the town even more a week. It's going to be 27 times a week, bro. It's like, okay, Joey Muzz, you sort it out. But Tatum being back just gives them this extra release valve, I think, for Jaylen Brown, where he's not carrying the entire team the entire time. Derek White, still very hit or miss this year. It's a bit strange, but he's been a little bit better of late. With Tatum back in the fold, you've got Peyton Pritchard. Vooch, maybe if he comes back at some point, who knows? But they're devastating. They're very good at home. We saw them beat OKC. They can win the title. Spurs and Thunder are the last 2 teams who can win the title, because obviously they can. Like, they're going to be battling it out for the 1 seed in the West. They're both awesome. They're both super deep. The Spurs, they haven't been there before. I don't think that fucking matters anymore. Like, I think OKC copped their, whipping a couple of years ago. You get that on the big jobs. The Spurs, I think they've just been put together so well, and they fit so well that it might not matter. Like, they might lose in the Western Conference Finals, and that's their, gee willikers, we weren't quite ready year. And that might be true. But they can still actually get into that. If they get to that Western Conference Finals, they are going to believe they can beat OKC. What do they go, 4-1 against them this year? Fuck yes. So just saying, they can win the title, and so can the Thunder, because obviously they can. They're awesome, and they're deep and terrifying. They did lose to Boston, though, but they're number 1 in the power rankings right now. Spurs were right there with them. I was going back and forth, and even though OKC lost to Boston, I still kept OKC up there just because they're a little bit terrifying. All right, Outback Takehouse, very quickly. Let's do it. Where's the button? It's Friday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh yeah, TGIF, oil drum cans full of tasty Foster's Lager. It's ice cold, and it's only at Outback. Goes great with the flame grilled take, and today's flame grilled take is Kevin Durant has been a snake his entire career, and all of his teams have basically disintegrated because of him. Only at Outback. And this is how we should think of him, I think, for the rest of his career. Unless he goes home to Seattle and plays out the string at the very end of his career with the Seattle Supersonics reborn. Just think about it. OKC falls apart. Oh, geez, it was all because Russ and Harden, they traded Harden. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant is the fucking dipshit who bounces to a 73-9 Golden State Warriors that they lost to, right? Oh, it was always Russell's fault, was it? And then he goes to Golden State. They win 2 titles. He wins a couple of finals MVPs. They fall apart. It's all his fault. Again, can't get along with Draymond. Cracks the stats. Goes to Brooklyn. It's all hunky-dory. He pairs up with his mate Kyrie. How could that go wrong, Jim? I don't know. Let me count all the fucking ways with that lunatic. Boom. Smash cut to, oh, it's gotten hard. I got to get the fuck out of here. Gets traded to Phoenix. Guess what happens there? Oh, it all goes sideways, does it? Are all the vibes a little bit weird again? Who could be the fucking determining factor again? Boom. Gets traded to Houston. The vibes are all off a little bit. Yeah, geez, I don't know. What could be the determining factor here again? Oh, that's right. Kevin Durant. Every time. I love Kevin Durant. I think he also might be a weird fucking prick to play with. Right? Everywhere he goes, the vibes turn to shit. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Kevin. Ball's in his court. The other one is if the Hornets get the 8 seed, they're going to knock off Detroit. Right. Very brief Straya player watch because we got a brief appearance, I think, from Josh Green today for 2 minutes. And that was that. He had a 2 trillion. Oh, no, he had a 2 trillion and 1 because he had a 2-minute stint and all he got was 1 foul. And that was it. So, yeah, no other Aussie got out there today. Because we've got no one on the Pelicans, the Pistons, the Kangs, or the Magic, or the Knicks. So, there you go. Right, Shane Hill, shoot your shot, light 'em up, whoa.
He threw it down. Are you healed? Are you healed? Praise the Lord, I'm healed.
Praise the Lord, for I'm healed. It is the Shane Hill
Shooters shoot.
Shoot your shot, light 'em up award.
One of the great drops. We're going back to the Con well. So I think he was the Shane Hill shoot your shot, light 'em up award winner on Wednesday. He and LaMelo, because LaMelo went past Del Curry for second all time in Charlotte Hornets history. But Connie Nips just became the youngest player ever to have 250 made threes in a season, which is just crazy, right? He's the only player aged 22 or younger to ever do it, which is absolutely nuts. And he's also got to 250 threes, the quickest of anybody in NBA history. It only took him 72 games to get to 250, beating out Duncan Robinson with 79, Brandon Miller at 91, and Luka Doncic at 99. So, can shoot it, and shooters should shoot. All right, Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's see what Patty's been up to. I think there's been a bit going on with Patty because he's over there with Tenerife and going hard in the black and gold. There he is. All those photos. Look at this. Patty Mills and Marcelo. Oh, it's Marcelo Huertas. Dos Leones que hacen historia en nuestro deporte. Ahora juegan el mismo equipo, La Laguna Tenerife. Looking good. It's basically Patty Mills and his mate, Marcelo Huertas. That's looking cool. Should go over there and check it out, shouldn't I? Anyway. Good stuff. Right, let's do some game previews for tomorrow. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How'd we go today? We went 1 of 3. We were on the Pelicans, and then they just fell apart late. That was horrible. And the Magic were up by 10 against the Kings late. You're like, here we go. We're going to be all right. And then they just fell apart as well because the Magic stink. Anyway, we've got the Clippers at Indy tomorrow. They are 9.5-point favorites. We are taking the Clippers. Remember, you can find all of the picks over at Dabble as well. The links are in the social bios or our show description. Go check them out if you want to follow along. Clippers -9.5. Boom. Atlanta, Boston. This is a ripper, isn't it? The nascent Hawks up against the Celtics. We're going to take the Celtics -4.5. I think their defense will be a little bit too good for the Hawks, but it still should be a very, very close one. The Hawks' defense has been fantastic as well of late, but I just don't know offensively if they're going to be able to hang with Boston, but that should be a ripper of a game. I was tempted to take the +4.5, but I think the Celtics might just get them. Cleveland versus Miami. Do we trust the Cavs? I think so. This back-to-back, home back-to-back, I think the Cavs get him in the second one. So let's go Cleveland -4.5. Houston at Memphis. The Rockets are 12.5-point favorites on the road in Memphis. Is this going to be the game where they get it all right? Probably. I'm still going to take the Grizz +12.5. They're playing nobody. Oh, no. Houston will kill them. Let's go Houston -12.5. The tanking teams, yeah, it's rough. Chicago at OKC. Josh Giddey's revenge. I'm going to take the Bulls +19.5. They don't have anybody. OKC will beat them. 19.5 is a slap in the face to Josh Giddey. New Orleans at Toronto. The Pelicans on a back-to-back. They go up there to the Raptors. Raptors are 8.5-point favorites. I think the Raps might get the Pels. I think the Pels, with all of just the way that they went about it today, bit of a rough one. You get that on the big jobs. We understand. But I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to back up after a beatdown from the Pistons, go to Toronto and actually make that a tough game. So I'm going to go the Raps -8.5. Utah at Denver. Utah 18.5-point underdogs against the Nugs. Yeah, I think we'll still go Denver -18.5 there. Golden State, Washington. Washington on the road in Golden State +14.5. Could we take that? I don't think so. They're going to get stomped as well. Let's go. We're taking all these big lines today, apart from that OKC 19.5. So we're going to go Golden State -14.5. Dallas at Portland. Dallas putting up a little bit of fight here and there. Portland, very, very good the other day in a smashing of the Raps. The Mavs got close against Denver the other day. So I reckon Dallas +9.5. Portland still win. And finally, Brooklyn at the Lakers. They're going to get killed. Lakers -16.5. Little bit dicey. Brooklyn do play pretty tough every so often, but they've just got none of their dudes. So we'll go the Lakers -16.5. Actually, I think Luka is questionable. They might rest him. Let's go Brooklyn +16.5 just in case Luka doesn't play. Nice. And then Sunday's games, you got a Spurs, Milwaukee game, whatever. Detroit, Minnesota is the big one on Sunday. And then Philly, Charlotte. I really like those two. Everything else is a bit crummy, but yeah, those two are very, very, very fun. So keep an eye out for those on your Sunday. But there you go. That's the end of that one. What a fun week. I'm going to try and doing Sunday night show this week as well. Set you up for the week ahead. That was always sort of the plan this year. It sort of dropped off the last little bit just because we've been playing pub cricket. A bunch of other stuff's going on. So yeah. But anyway, because we've got footy unfiltered popping off as well. I'm doing a lot of footy shit here and there. So yeah, it's a bit chaotic. But that's it. We'll hopefully be back on Sunday night. If not, we'll just do the full show on Monday. Wrap up the weekend with weekend winners and losers. Follow NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Jump in the comments. Send us through some nahs. So I've got stuff to talk about on Monday. That'll be good. Get around NFL Straya with myself and Gaz. Lots going on there. He's back in the country now, so we'll do a off-season draft show very soon. And also, obviously, footy unfiltered. Myself and Jez talking AFL. It's been very fun. I love doing it. Go subscribe to it. Go check it out. Check it out on the socials. Give it a follow. Like it, subscribe it, all that sort of gear. And same with Jim does Supercoach. AFL Supercoach, NBA Supercoach every week. Go get around that if that's your vibe. Go subscribe to them. Follow them on your podcast app, YouTube, all the good stuff. Help your mate Jim out. Appreciate you. You can also help us out by buying us a coffee. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. You'll get the new Dead Set Legends Club show, I think at the start of next week. Hell yeah. Most fun players at every position. It's going to be a fun one. And I've got some metrics. It's very cool. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule. So to House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinating Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Extra Green, and Dozers. They're buying all the tunes you hear on the show. Go smash them on your music streaming platform of choice. And that's it. We'll close out with a classic Cooking with Bainesy for you. And we'll catch you next week, you dickheads. Have a great weekend. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And, oh, what do you reckon about that one, Gary? Later, Hosen.
The worst of the